So please welcome David Wong to the show. Welcome, David.
Hello, nice to be here.
And you're in Canada?
Vancouver, Canada.
Vancouver. I grew up in Seattle, so I we used to go up to Vancouver a lot. I'm in San Diego now. I've been down your rabbit hole, and everyone knows I love doing that before I get my guests to come on. And I'm looking at your life and why you're doing what you're doing. And I always know that, when people look at things in their life that are, sickness or, um, something bad or, there's a reason. And like everything's working for you. Right. And I have two daughters and I'm always, um, always saying it, well, it's happening for you. What is the gift in it? What is the magic? And I believe, like, when I look at you, how old are you?
43.
43. So I'm 54. So 10 years difference. But when I think of, how, life, where we are now and at your age and the health industry and the healing modalities that are out, the things we talk about now that we didn't even 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And really, like, it's just so, we're ready, we're ready for this, for your gift that you discovered.
Mhm.
But what I want you to do to introduce, like, why I think your background was like you manifest, like, I feel like in a past life, I mean, that's what I believe, you created the ulcer, the colitis, to be able to get to this place because you needed that pain point to say, I need to heal myself. That's where I'm at. What do you
Yeah.
say?
Well, one things I believe that is that through hardship we discover our purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So, having been sick for 10 years of my life with ulcerative colitis, which they said was incurable,
Right.
and having to was given medication, which gave me side effects, and multiple medications, which eventually I refused to take because they didn't work. Number one, and number two, they gave me side effects and made me feel even worse. And having to suffer through like blood loss every day, chronic fatigue, brain fog, couldn't focus, couldn't have any energy, can't even leave the house because of all the internal bleeding every day. So
Mm-hmm.
going through that, depression, anxiety, stress, trauma, and then being able to heal myself in 90 days using just frequency, that has been life changing to say the least. And it has kind of gave me a burden also to help other people who have suffered in the same way or who are suffering in the same way that I have suffered through those years. And because when you overcome something like that, you tend to be more sensitive to other people who are going through the same thing. And
Right.
if you found a solution, you found a way, you found a key or the answer to your prayers, you feel an obligation to help other people that are going through
Right.
the same thing.
Right. I want to go back to your childhood because I heard in one of your, I don't know if I read it, but you started meditating when you were 10. So you were around that mindset. Like you knew that was so important. Why?
Yeah, around 10 years old, I had an accident and it was near fatal. I only had a 50% chance of survival. I
Oh,
fell
wow.
over, I was sliding down the stair, like the railing, and I fell headfirst over the railing. My head fell onto the railing below. My skull was cracked, and they had to do surgery for several hours. And I was unconscious and in a coma for about 24 hours that they thought I may not wake up from. Luckily, I did. And even if I did wake up, they said I would have brain damage.
Oh.
So far, there's no brain damage. and since then, I think my personality changed. According to my parents, they said I started to become very introverted and reserved and non-expressive. So now that I look back, I was on the spectrum, autistic spectrum. Some people may say that,
Hmm.
and and through that experience, Yes, somehow I became more spiritual. I started to become more sensitive to things, and maybe, you know, with higher power and communicating in that sense. And I started to spend a lot of time by myself. I became a loner, and I spent a lot of time just, I guess, praying and meditating.
Huh. Were you raised religious? Did your mom and dad raise you with that?
Well, yes, I was raised as a Christian, and I became a Christian after my accident, because my brother, when I was, on my in the hospital, he prayed for me and asking God to give me a chance because I was so young, and God answered that prayer, and I survived. And since then, I started to follow my brother's lead and go to church and learn about the Christian faith.
Mm-hmm.
And then, later on in my life, I kind of explored other areas of meditation, other areas of spirituality, and so on. And that came about because of my sickness, because I came to a point after 10 years or so, I was just so sick and tired of being literally sick and tired.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just broke down. And one day I was just crying because I didn't really know why, but I was just really angry at myself. I was just really upset and really frustrated with my life and how it's going. I was a young person. I had dreams. I had aspirations. I wanted to succeed. I wanted to make a difference in the world. And then looking back to 10 years, I wasn't doing anything. I was just, most of the days, I was just sleeping because I was so tired.
Hmm.
So I just got really angry at myself, or angry at God even, or a higher power of my life. And I just said, well, I just said, whatever I need to do, just let me know what I need to do and I'll do it. I need to
Mm-hmm.
change something. And then in that silence, I heard a voice and just telling me, give me this idea. So you should meditate more. And I said, well, that's kind of interesting. Meditate, you know, maybe I should learn about what this meditation thing is. Maybe there's so much that I don't know about. So that's what I did. I started to meditate and find different tools to help me meditate better. And in that process, all these ideas and inspirations and epiphanies came to my mind out of nowhere, such as using frequencies and using devices and coils and magnetic energy. And I'm a very curious person. I like to test things and try different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trained in music. I have a jazz studies diploma, right? I have
Huh. You play the piano, right?
a piano, guitar, and sing.
Oh,
I
cool.
have, I have an engineering scholarship, which I never finished because I didn't want to be stuck behind a cubicle.
Right.
And then I also have, experience with martial arts and qigong because my uncle is a Tai Chi and Qigong master, and he learned from his mom, and his mom actually learned it directly from the Shaolin monks
Oh,
in China.
wow. Huh.
So I have this, I could say, like this heritage that has
Right.
to do with energy and has to do with feeling life force or being sensitive to it. So so in my experiments, I kind of combine all these things together. It's like frequencies, technology. I was doing some software development, so that, and also martial arts and qigong. And I basically create something just for fun. And I thought it would help me to meditate more or meditate more deeply, which
Mm-hmm.
it did. And then I had these really profound meditation experiences when I was using these frequencies and these devices. And then I said, how far could this go? And I was researching and I found a frequency for my intestines is supposed to reduce inflammation. So I used that. And the moment I turned it on, I said, oh my God, I think I found it.
Huh.
I think I found that thing because I felt something like massaging my gut. I wasn't touching it. It's just the frequency was doing it to my gut. It felt like
Right.
pulsing. I didn't know what it was, but I knew that it was something that's going to make a big difference in my life. So I kept doing that for 90 days, and after 90 days, I was completely healed from something that I've suffered from 10 years that they
Oh,
told me
wow.
was incurable.
Wow.
Right
And,
there.
when you, so that you had the colitis at what age did it start?
It's my 20s.
In your 20s.
Yeah.
So, when I look at um, your life and getting that colitis, I have a really, really close friend that has struggles with that. And I think that was drawn to me too, because I've done healing with megahertz and the PMF mats. I mean, I know those words. So that kind of that technology, so then when I go down to understanding where you created this coil and the like it's just on the next level. Like, I just go, wow, he has it he has it all dialed in, like to every, like you think of one thing and he's got that covered. And when you have a disease like you did, and it's so frustrating when you go to the doctor and having them say this is a lifetime journey. But when you get these downloads and these meditations of, that's what is so fascinating to me. I know you have that technology mind and, your background and with your family, but to like create something like this, that you start to realize this is healing. This is medicine. This is, where I really know where our world is going. And that's why I find that so fascinating, because I love I listen to your app, all the sounds. And I was walking today listening and just picturing, I was doing the abundance one. And then and then I was listening to the ayahuasca and the DMT. And I mean, there's just so many, it's just endless, but you've covered everything.
Yeah, I did. Pretty much everything. And if there's something else that I didn't cover, we'll cover that too.
I know.
So, um, interesting, it says something about the future. So you know that Einstein said that the future medicine will be the medicine of frequencies.
Huh. I bet. I
Future
believe that.
medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. That's what Einstein said,
Wow.
right? And I mean, everybody knows about Tesla, that the secret of the universe is frequency, energy by vibration.
Hmm.
But Einstein specifically said that medicine will be based on frequencies in the future. So guess what? Einstein was right.
But you look at life now in 2023, and everything's like this big, shakeup. Everything is coming out of nowhere, the surface, and we're uncovering the magic. And when you realize that Einstein said that, and then what it took from that point, what we had to see, what had to be covered up, and then all of a sudden we're in 2020, like when people are discovering frequencies and all that, now it's like this is the answer to
It
healing.
is the answer. And I think like the more I do this and the more stories, it works too well. And the reason
Huh.
is it works too well is because Big Pharma really, really hates it. So I was,
Right.
and I just experienced this. I haven't experienced this, for the 6 years we have this company, but I just recently experienced this because I was invited to lecture at Integrated Health Practitioners in Vegas. I was at City Hall, right? There was going to be 300 people. They're all nurses or practitioners, and they use it for accreditation for their course, right? So my lecture would be one of those courses that they would take to get credit, right? And they would be
Okay.
officially part of the curriculum for these health practitioners. The last minute, the night before, they had to cancel the entire event.
Mm.
And the reason was because of me, okay?
Wow.
Because my presentation included Rife machines,
Wow. I believe it.
right? They canceled the whole thing. So Big Pharma put their hammer down and said, no, we cannot let this guy talk about Rife machines at this conference. And they canceled the whole event. That bad.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And these guys, they're pushing the boundaries of medicine and health, and they're like trailblazers. So, they've invested time and money into this event, and this happened. So, these things happen. I never knew that it was like that real, but
Hmm.
that was the experience.
Right.
So sometimes it works so well that you may encounter a lot of resistance. in that
Hmm.
sense, right? Like people out there don't want this to get out. They don't want people to know about this,
Right.
right?
So let's go into how you're getting these downloads and you're creating it. I mean, there's even crystals in some. I mean, you started creating this coil.
Hmm.
Go into that so people understand that because there's
Okay,
different levels and we
so
can go into that later.
let-
But
let's do like a kind of like the 5-year-old, something that 5-year-olds would understand.
there we go.
So we're using frequencies. Frequencies are like music. Music makes you happy, makes you sad. And music can also change the way you feel, and how you feel will change how your body, becomes,
Yes, your
stay
vibration. I
healthy.
mean, yeah.
Okay. So we use special sounds and music that we've developed that have specific, emotions, that create specific emotions, just like music. So like you can create emotion of calmness, you can create an emotion of happiness, you can create an emotion of even like attracting, good things into your life, luck, right? You can create anything that you want. We have so many. Now, what the coils do is we turn that music into silent music that only your cells can hear,
Okay.
because we turn that music into magnetic energy, so magnetic energy waves. And those waves, you can feel them when you put a magnet on the coil. It's going to shake, shake, shake like this in your hand. You can feel it. And this kind of silent music we call electromagnetic frequencies. And that goes in your body and scientifically proven, even approved by the FDA for healing many things, such as bone healing, anxiety, depression. There's a list of about maybe 20 or 30 things that the FDA have approved PEMF devices for. Okay, so that's the science behind it, and that's generally how it works. Now, what makes us so much farther ahead than all the other PMF devices is, number one, we have way more frequencies and they're way more complex. If you listen to them, you can hear them. There's so many different frequencies happening. There's 5,000 frequencies happening in one frequency, right? Whereas
Oh,
everybody's still working with just one frequency at a time. So that's number one. The frequencies are much more advanced. Number two, we use toroidal. These are called toroid or donuts, right? But
right.
it's called toroid, and this shape is actually how energy flows throughout the universe. If you think about it, look at the galaxies; they're shaped like that. Look at an apple; you can have shape like that. Look at the Earth's magnetic fields like that, or our heart's magnetic field. Even our cell, our red blood cells, looks just like that.
Hmm.
So, so this is how energy flows. So why not use this shape to create an energy flow just the way that nature intended? That way, your body will absorb it much better, right?
Hmm.
You don't need so much because it's so efficient. You don't need a lot in order to absorb it. You don't need a lot for it to actually start working on you. So that's the second thing is we use these shapes that are imitating what's naturally occurring in the universe or throughout nature. And we have yin and yang. And again, going to that explanation, right? Because they're wound differently. And in nature, there is also yin and yang. We can see it throughout, all physics, all of quantum physics. There's always negative and positive charges, right?
Right.
We can see it in everywhere, in culture, right? Or even in human beings, we have feminine and men and women, right? Some people may disagree, but there's two. Okay.
Yeah, let's not go down that one.
Yeah. Um, even our body has yin and yang forces happening, in the body, according to traditional Chinese medicine. So that concept has been around since the beginning of time for thousands of years, and it's also confirmed with, recent discoveries with quantum physics that yes, the world is actually has these forces, right? That even modern devices are now starting to detect. Before they think, oh, it's all just fake, it's just imagination. But
Right,
now,
right.
now we have the computer, like the quantum computers, and now we have the devices to actually detect these forces with real technology. So that's what we're tapping into now, right? We're tapping into the world of frequency, the world of the invisible, and that is the world that is the foundation of the reality that we experience every day, right? Because we are not solid matter. We're actually mostly empty space. We're not mostly matter. We're mostly empty space, right? Every molecule, every atom is mostly empty space. So the empty space, there's a lot of It's mostly just energy and your frequency. So if that's the case, then it's easy to change. Frequency and energy is easy to manipulate, easy to change, easy to alter. And that's what we're doing with these coils, because we have frequencies that can set that resonance automatically for somebody or for an environment. And I was just talking to one of my people on my leadership team. So she is a real estate agent, and she's super skeptical, right? So she said, oh, I don't know if all this like abundance stuff and luck stuff works, but you know what? It's free. I'll just download it and listen to this thing. So, right.
Right.
So she downloaded it, listened to it. 3 hours later, she got a call. I said, hey, I want to list my house with you.
Oh,
And then she said, okay, and that's great. Like, who referred you to me? And then she's like, no one, nobody referred me to you. And they said, okay, well, did you see me from my radio? I mean, from my TV show? Because she has a TV show. And the guy's like, what TV show? I didn't know you were in a TV show. And I said, well, how did you find me? I said, I didn't, I just found you. And then, if you search real estate, there's like
right.
thousands of realtors that come out,
Oh,
right?
totally.
What's the chances of them just calling this person out of the thousands of people? And so that's just like what happened. And that listing turned out to be a $90,000 commission.
Wow,
Just
I
three
love
hours of
that.
using frequency.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
totally. Go ahead. Keep going. Were you going to say
Do you have
something?
something that happened to you?
Well, I was listening to another one where the woman, it's just the synchronicities that happen and I feel like, I'm looking at it like your cells are just being active. You're reactivating these cells and it's raising your vibration. And like now you're open to those things. It's like a magnet, like you're becoming a magnet to the world that's always been.
Yeah, exactly. Joe Dispenza, everybody follows him, and he's talking about,
Yeah,
okay, raise your frequency, and then you're going to attract abundance or become healthier. You can heal yourself with just meditation and raising your frequency, right? Yeah, we can all do
right.
that. We can all have the ability to heal ourselves, heal other people, change our reality by just changing our frequency. And you can do that with meditation. What I've done is basically do that with just technology without having to meditate. Okay.
Right.
So some people say, "Oh, you got meditate is great. If you meditate, yes, great. I meditate too every day. But add this and then meditate and see what happens."
Right. Yeah. Oh,
Right?
totally. Keep looking at your bookshelf. That I have children, but since when we were kids, there wasn't ADHD and autism. That wasn't really, the words weren't out there. And then all of a sudden, where I'm having children, they have autism, and then I see it's becoming so just a regular word for these kids. But you can cure that with these frequencies. I mean, you can cure everything. I
I can't
understand that.
claim I can cure or heal or mitigate.
Oh, I know. Sorry. You can't heal or cure.
So all them telling you right now are stories of people who have had success with it, and including my own healing story. Um, what we can say is that our frequencies and technology based on PMF therapy, and PMF therapy has been scientifically proven to assist in helping people recover from whatever disease they have, right, or helping them um, improving their quality of life while they have that disease. That's the official way I have to say it. but but
Right.
um but regarding ADHD and autism, we have a book. It's called Solved: ADHD of Autism, Transforming Disability into Genius. And it's about how one of he's my educational director. His name is Joe Zicalizia, and he's been teaching kids for a long time, but he specialized with kids with learning disability. So uh, he started incorporating my coils and my frequencies in the classrooms. And then during the pandemic, okay, when it was the worst case scenario for kids to learn in school, he was able to take these kids, there's 26 of them, who were at the lowest performing in the entire nation, after 4 months to perform in the top 1% in the nation.
Right.
Okay? And we
Oh,
talk about
that's
math
amazing.
scores. So this is quantifiable. Their math
Right.
scores were now in the top 1% of the nation. How could these kids who were previously categorized as ADHD, autism with learning disability, and who couldn't even count to, let's say, 60, right? Who couldn't even finish reading the alphabet and memorize the alphabet, who would scream if you get close to them, to become now kids that lead the classroom, who teach
Right.
other kids, who are doing better at math than the average kid, right?
Wow.
So,
Amazing.
so we have a case study. It's on our website. You can download it. There's a science page on our website, and then you can download that case study and talks all about that. And this book is available on Amazon. So, and recently, just today, we officially became members of the NFL Alumni Caring for Kids, which is a
Oh,
charity,
wow.
and also MG52 Foundation, which is also focused on helping kids. So now we're partnered together, and we're going to be doing some, collaborations together for children. We're actually putting together a special program right now where we're going to take 15 kids over 3 months, and we're going to use the same system that we're using, and then we're going to basically um, document their progress, and
Hmm.
then we're going to present the findings, I mean, the improvements at an event that we're going to have, I think, in February or March. And that's going to be huge. It'll be a charity
Oh,
event. Yeah.
wow. Do you feel like people are more open? Like even just talking about the NFL, like do you feel like you're being more accepted?
Um, yeah, definitely. We're being more accepted. I think it's because, I'm using these frequencies every day. So I attract people like yourself. I attract people who are on the same frequency, right? Because you attract what you are. So you attract
Right.
people in the same frequency. They want to help people. They know that this is revolutionary and the world needs to hear about it. They need to learn about this technology because people need it. These kids need it. It's an epidemic right now with so many kids having ADHD and autism. I think it's 1 in 5 or something like that, right? Even
Hmm.
adults have it. So the educational system needs it. The kids need it, and everybody needs it. So I think people who have that heart of helping and heart of changing the world, my motto is healing the world together. So if they have that and they see something like this and they see what I'm about, they just want to work together. And that's what we're doing.
Right. When you have like I know that the coils and wearing them and having they come in sizes, but also if someone didn't want couldn't get the coil, they like I've been doing, listening to the frequencies in my head in my headphones. um you were taught, I wanted you to explain like because I've interviewed a lot of people that go to Peru for ayahuasca journeys, the people that lead those ceremonies,
Hmm.
and the DMT and all these different psychedelics. And I've never done that.
Yeah.
So when you're saying that to me where I could do it a frequency,
Uh-huh.
and I could do it that way, it sounds like, well, I could probably figure out how to
Well,
do
it's the
that
best
because
thing. It's the best thing that ever happened.
so tell everybody about that, because that's really, I mean, to find go to an app and hit ayahuasca journey
Yeah, yeah. I'm
is
gonna
it,
actually play it now. Is that okay?
oh yeah, I love that.
Okay.
Are we
I'm
going
gonna.
to start like having a trip or whatever they call it?
I don't know. It depends on the person. So I'll play it for 30 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets pretty intense if you listen to that more.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one, right? So that's DMT. Uh,
Okay.
okay, and how to explain this? So basically, every molecule has a molecular structure, right? You can just go to Google, and you can see the molecular structure, the hexagons, and the geometry. So
Mhm.
we take those geometries, we put them in the software, and then we spin them three-dimensionally. And when you do that, it's kind of like animation. We can get those numbers that come out because everything is digital, and digital means numbers. So when we
Mhm.
spin and animate that molecule, um, we get frequencies from it, and we use those frequencies to make what you just heard. Uh, and obviously that's the basic idea, but then we layer a bit different, things on top of it. It's actually quite complex, and advance how we make frequencies, because we have many things happening at the same time, right? For example, we have like certain rhythms and patterns that cause psychotropic effects in the brain. Stuff like people call it alien music or UFO music.
Right.
But there's actually, some science to that, because, there are some frequencies that cause you to trip a little bit if you listen to them in certain patterns and sequences. So we know what those are. So we put a little bit of that in there. And then there's some of the lower notes kind of, you know, kind of hit different parts of the brain waves. So we blend many things together. It's kind of like making an actual piece of music, right? We're blending many different techniques and ideas together, and then when they put it together, it becomes this, and it gives you an experience, right? Because that's what this is all about. You get this experience, and when you get this experience with listening to it, it's like you got this holographic projection of that DMT directly into your ears, into your body, through your skin, because your skin actually resonates with sound waves,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's happening. And then when you add the coils, it goes even deeper, because now you're going into your cells with that frequency.
Right. So explain that. So me listening to that just now, and I didn't have the coil,
Mhm.
having adding the coil to that process goes it goes into your cells.
It's a deeper process. So
It's a deeper.
so
Okay.
when this sound waves are just vibrating air, right? It's just air moving. So
Mm-hmm.
when air moves, your ear obviously can hear it. The inner ear, it vibrates that thing. I forgot what it's called in your ear, and then that sends a signal to your brain. But also your skin will feel slight sensations from the vibrating air.
Right.
So your skin also becomes like what you call let's say like a sensor, or it actually senses, or it's actually like a microphone. So
Okay.
it picks up that energy from the vibrations in the air. So that's happening too when you're listening to frequencies, and then that in turn can stimulates your nerves, and in turn stimulates your nervous system, and so on, right? Now with the coils, it changes the magnetic energy. Magnetic energy is a different kind of music, as we said, it's a silent kind of music, and your cells can hear it, because your cells actually communicate with electromagnetism. Okay, so people say, in the old textbooks, they say, oh, you need chemical reactions, right? You need the molecules to bump into each other, and then one thing goes into one slot, and then that makes a chemical reaction. Well,
Right.
yes, but it doesn't explain how sometimes things happen instantly in your body, right? Well, because then you
Mm-hmm.
have to bump all those molecules all the way down to your body that quickly. It's impossible. So your body actually is responsive to electromagnetism um, in many ways, in many levels. For example, we just talked about the cells, and it's scientifically proven. I mean, NASA did a research study showing that EMF waves can increase cell regeneration by 40% just from energy, just from energy waves. Um, and then there's some people who specialize in DNA, and they found that the DNA, how does DNA communicate with every cell in the body to tell them how to grow the hair, how to make your eye color and skin color and all that? That's actually done through electromagnetic signals as well,
Hmm.
which is interesting, through electromagnetism, which is wireless. So the body is wireless, can operate in wirelessly. Okay,
Right. Gosh.
that's why one person can affect another person without touching them, because we can actually send this silent energy or instructions to somebody else's body, right? So that's how the coils work. We're sending these instructions that are already happening in your body through your cells, through your DNA, through your nervous system, through your brain. We just figured out how to basically hack that system. So people call this a biohacking tool as well, right? So we hack the way that your body communicates with itself.
Right. Are you, so let's go into like so when you have the single one, like well, you showed two, but there's one that you can do one and it's handling the yin energy. It doesn't include the
Mhm.
energy. But
Right.
if you have the two, explain those two
Okay.
sides of
Yin
the energy.
Yang is something new that nobody really talking about, especially when it comes to PMF therapy, right? Um, I'm the only person actually talking about this, and the reason is because they feel different. So you use just this. Let's say you just use one coil. Let's say this is yin. It's gonna feel more relaxing and gentle. And then if you use this is yang by itself, then it's gonna feel more focusing and activating. Okay, you feel the difference. So and then when you combine them, then you feel really really centered. All right. And there's different ways to combine them because there's a front and a back, and there's a yin and a yang. So there's 4 different configurations, and then you can stack them like this, and it has a different effect. You can put them like this, different effect. If you could go switch it around, it gets a different effect. I made a chart that explains all this. You can follow the chart and you can see which. Actually, I'll show you the chart here. So, okay, I don't have the full chart, but basically, if you face a different direction and then face the coils different directions, you got different,
Okay.
And you can download this on the website. So this is more advanced for people who want to like experiment more with energies and find which one they like and have different experiences. But for most people, they don't really need to know. They just put it in front of them and just turn them on.
Okay.
You don't really need
If
to
you have more
notice.
people coming to you for, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, yes. So the yin yang, there's more subtle energies or quality or different feeling of the energy comes out of the coils depending on how you configure them. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. Do you have more people coming to you or as interested in healing an illness, a disease, or for just like just to be healthy? Are people trying to, like you did with the colitis? Like, are people
Um,
really like, help me, David? I need to heal
I think
cancer. You were saying 1 in 3 people now in Canada have cancer.
it's 1 in 5, I think. 1 in 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, uh, the people that come to us actually is all across the board. I mean, there's people who have a disease they need help with and they want to try something different than what they've been using, which is not working for them. So they need something that works. There's people who just, they're pretty good health already and they just want to add more to that, right? There's people who actually there's some interesting ones coming out now. Like there's people who run sales teams that want to elevate the performance of their sales team using the
Oh,
technology.
huh.
Because I mean it makes sense, right? Because like in order to be a good salesperson, you need to be in good mood, you need to relieve stress. And stress is what, makes them perform really poorly. So if you can eliminate stress and elevate their mood, then automatically they're going to do better as a salesperson. And that's what they say. So we have people like that, and then we have lots of athletes coming on now. Now that we're partnered with NFL alumni, we also have people that are they say, "Oh, I'm just selfish. I just want to make money from it. I just want to attract abundance and attract lots of money. Or I just want to attract a soulmate or a relationship. Right? I don't care about this healing stuff." Right? So basically, that's why we say, change your frequency, change your destiny.
Mhm.
Right. So whatever you want your destiny to be, you can change it by just having one frequency. Just find the one frequency that you need and you can change it.
Right.
So
Oh, oh, yes. Keep going. I get so excited. Keep
yeah.
going.
So yeah. So you know, I'm not gonna say this is only gonna be used for this. I maybe there's things that this can do that I don't even know about yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm waiting for people to say, hey, David, why don't you use it for this? And they say, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe it will work. And then they use it and it works. And then, well, we found another way of using this coil we never knew about. So, so I think the sky's the limit because, like I said, we're using energy and frequencies, which is the foundation of reality itself.
Right.
What can you not change? How far does it go? I still don't know.
Right. No, I mean, just at the advanced level of all the different areas that you cover now,
Mhm.
I feel like it is endless. But when I was watching your webinar on the triangle, where you talked about manifesting and wealth and money
Mhm.
and how money is energy and flow and that whole, will you just give me that was so, I really enjoyed that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The
Yeah, definitely.
pyramid that, yeah.
Totally. I mean, abundance, right? For a long time, I just stuck with the health and wellness stuff, and I kind of avoided the abundance thing because people, I was like thinking that people say would be skeptical when they first say, "Oh yeah, this guy just wants to make money by telling people they can make money with this," right? So I was kind of hesitant. But then people started to tell me stories about attracting abundance, right? And then I say, actually, it's working actually pretty good for them. And then more and more people did that. And then all these stories started to come in, and like after using the luck frequency or abundance frequency, oh, this thing happened out of the blue. Oh, this thing happened out of the blue. This person called me that they haven't talked to for 10 years. So all these like stories are coming in. I say, okay, maybe this is stuff is pretty strong. Maybe it is really, you know, something I should talk about more. So what I did is I gathered a lot of these videos. So now there's a review video that's like 3 minutes long of about 10 people who have abundance, and there's the stories there. And then people are like, okay, so tell me, so you can actually attract abundance with this technology? And now I can confidently say yes, hell yeah, it does. And how it works is because same as the concept from Joe Dispenza, right? You change your frequency, you change what you attract what your frequency is, right? But
Right,
then
right.
how can you help somebody to get to that frequency that when they've never been there before, right?
Hmm.
It's kind of like, how can you tell somebody to play piano when they never had a lesson?
Right.
Okay. So with meditation, that's kind of like that. You have to learn the piano before you can play a whole symphony or play Mozart, right? So to meditate at that level, you need to practice a lot in order to be able to attract abundance. And because many people start at lack, and many people start in the point where they are very negative or have a lot of sabotaging habits or thoughts to their own abundance and blockages. So how do they get from there to a point where they're attracting abundance, and then have all their negative removed and their blockages removed? Traditionally, it takes lots of meditation, lots of time, or somebody needs to help them. So what I've done is I shortcut that. Now,
We love a shortcut.
yeah, now you can basically create an environment using the coils, because what you're doing, you're creating an external and internal environment at the same time, because you put it on your desk, and then now your whole room have this frequency of abundance when you play the frequency. You just have to sit there in that room, and then your negative emotions will be washed away. Your stress will be washed away. Your negative energies will be cleared out. Your blockages will slowly start to break down and flush out. And then slowly your frequency will start to raise. Your emotions will get stronger. Your focus will be stronger. Your ideas, your coincidences, and your resonance will be a lot higher. Like the more you talk to people, the more you realize there's such a big difference between people who are negative and usually very very poor, um, and people who are highly successful billionaires. And then the frequency is just, when you talk to them, it's completely different. It's
Right.
not just the words they use,
Totally.
it's the energy they have. It's completely
Right.
different, right? And then you wonder, like, why are some people stuck where they are? It's not really because of their circumstances. It's really about the energy and the frequency that they have inside themselves that they project, right?
Yes, for
So,
sure.
and the more I do this, more people I meet, the more I'm learning how true that is, and the more I look at myself, and the more I, work on myself every day. But it's not work because I just need to turn this on, and the more I kind of resonate with these things and find more ways to make it even better. Um, so that I kind of went on a rant there, but I think
No,
what I'm trying to
yeah.
say to put that in a nutshell is that with these coils, you can get into a frequency of abundance that will effortlessly and automatically attract abundance. That's as simple as this is. Okay.
Right.
And it doesn't take meditation, and you don't need affirmations, and you don't need to take some course or go to get even a coach, right? All the coach tells me, all that I'm coaching people now with is like, people ask, what the hell happened? Right? It's happening, but I don't know why. So
Oh,
I
I
just
love
so it's
it.
just about explaining why it's happening rather than teaching them how to do it because they already did it
Right.
with the frequencies. They're already attracting abundance. They're already making money. Like a lot of people are getting, these deals coming out at them, like real estate agents and success, or attracting people or opportunities. So I don't need to teach them how to do it anymore. They're doing it,
Right.
right? Automatically. I just need to teach them why it's happening so that they can explain it to other people.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Explain it when you put the coil next to a glass of water, because
Mhm.
that emoto, the water, how
Yeah.
the frequency in the water, you can tell it love and I all that. But it's that even you've talked about that a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So water is one of the things that can be programmed very easily with our thoughts and with our intentions. Because it's liquid and it's flow like water, just like Bruce Lee said, be like water, which means that, be adaptive, be ever changing, but also you can be very powerful if you have a lot of it rush into one place, right? Um, so with water, yeah, it's very easy to program your water with the coils. And that's one way of doing it. Like if you want the energy, let's say you don't have your coils with you, just charge a bunch of water, bring it with you to work. And when you drink that water, you've got that energy with you all the time. Or you can use it to water your plants. You can use it to feed your pets, whatever you want. But now you can energize water or program the water with a intention, with a frequency, without having to use words or use your mind. You're just using the technology.
Right. And it's just like we're all robots now, just turning on those coils and it's like, okay, do it. Let's go.
Yeah, robots. Yeah, yeah. So this makes life a lot easier.
Right.
I think it makes quality of life better for a lot of people, especially for young people who don't have the attention or the patience or the willpower to do anything in their lives. And, there's so many people lethargic these days, and a lot of younger people are depressed. The the highest cause of death of people 50 and younger in
Hmm.
America is depression and mental illness.
Hmm.
That's the number one. More than car accidents or cancer or anything like that is from mental illness. Is number one. So people need some way of lifting up their mood, right? Lifting up out of depression, anxiety, and
Hmm.
stress. And a lot of them can't do it themselves. It's obvious they can't do it by themselves, and they can't do it with medication. That's obvious too. Okay,
Right.
so what do? Like they're not gonna all of a sudden go and meditate, and they're not gonna all of a sudden read a book. A lot of these people are
No.
completely dark in really dark times in their life, right?
Right.
The verge of suicide. You can't get them to do that stuff,
Mm-mm.
and a lot of times they don't want any help either. So what do? Well, if you're a parent of one of these kids, just use the coils. You don't need their cooperation.
Right. Exactly. No, exactly. So I want to explain to you. So I'm a mom of two teenagers.
Mhm.
I've gone through the whole education with them. They're in high school now together. Paige is a senior and Presley's a freshman. And I, in 2020, started this podcast and started a class for teenagers. It's called Raising Confidence because these kids were struggling in the quarantine. And all these parents were listening to my podcast and were like, help my kid, Ashley. You need to help my kid. And so, I'm thinking, okay, my fifth grade and eighth grade at the time. And, we're kind of I'm still been programming them, not with these coils, but like with the abundant, all the things that I've learned my whole life because I had my kids later in life. Anyway, so I've been watching this evolution of my children go through life in this education system. And then 2020 hits and I'm also thinking even like in the elementary years, like wouldn't it be amazing if we could do meditation and start creating really where this world is going and adding that into our education system. So what you just sparked in me when you were saying that was I've dealt with so many kids that, the parents are saying depression, can't be social. They've been stuck on, they graduated from high school and didn't go to college because of COVID and 2 years. And now they're afraid to go back. And I mean, there's so many things that we don't know of these kids. And my focus is that because I am in that thick right now. But when I see the things that happen because of all this social media. I mean, you name it, the things that are layered on and layered onto these kids. But if you put that thing on that you have on that wall right there in
Yeah.
every room of the classroom, could you imagine?
Yeah. That's
Like
our
it gets
goal.
me so excited. I'm gonna go with my with that door
Well,
to
that's the
door.
plan. Actually, MG52, they're building 3 charter schools, and we're working directly with them, and they're actually going to put these in every classroom. That's what's
They
going to happen.
are.
Yeah,
Oh, David.
yeah.
See?
And,
That's
and
a
we already have,
oh,
and then Josie, our director, he's running a class right now. I think that teens class, so you know how hard they are to deal with. He has one of these coils in the middle of the classroom. They're doing an experiment right now.
oh wow. I'm
If you want
all
to learn
in.
more about it, maybe you
I
should do a
do.
podcast with him. But we are putting these in classrooms, and that is our goal: is to get it into every classroom in America.
Oh, amen, David. Amen. Because I didn't even think of that until we just started talking about it. And I've been looking at it because it's beautiful. That's the thing. It's not something where you go, what's that? It's just like, it looks like a piece of art.
It is art.
And yes, and I just know these when I know that it helps with learning and, the whole, all that. I mean, if it, that would be I mean, it would be such a shame if the education system doesn't see the value in that because it's a
Well, the thing with education system, I mean, there's protocol, and then there's a lot of politics with that, right? But we're working on it, and I think charter schools will probably have a higher chance of us getting in there versus the public
yeah.
schools.
Oh, for sure.
And even private schools, we're probably going to be talking to some soon.
Okay.
um, or just at home, right? You can use this at home to elevate. It can be a centerpiece. It could be a masterpiece. You can put it in your home. It'll be very decorative and beautiful to look at. At the same time, it's actually creating a healing environment to your whole house, and a calming and a elevating environment for your kids. So it does basically everything that you need to. So that's why we call it, the Qi Coil aura. We're creating a aura around that environment.
And you've done the tests where you see I watched the video, but how you've measured it before they had it, their outer aura, the energy and they had all the little
Yeah.
blocks or the where they didn't have the energy. And then all of a sudden you just see it like
Yeah.
not even that much long after they
30
used it.
minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes only.
30
We have
minutes.
a device that can measure, like, scientifically, we can measure and see graphically how much energy a person has before and after using the coil. You can see it, increasing quite a lot after just 30 minutes. And so just imagine you have this playing all the time in their house, and it's just set or forget, right? You just turn it on, and then it's playing all the time. You don't even have to touch it. You don't even have to be aware of it. While the kids are home, they could be just eating, playing video games. They could be getting. Just imagine they're playing video games and they're actually getting therapy
Right.
while they're
Exactly.
doing.
Yeah.
What else can
But
do that?
what about the EMF thing? Because I've been, thinking, gosh, these kids with these phones and all these EMF things are coming out now to protect um, everyone from these
Yeah,
EMF.
so there's basically three ways of protecting from EMFs that I tell people. Number one is to go live in the wilderness, away from all the cell phones. Number two is to wear EMF protective clothing, which we have. It's called
Don't you have that now?
Energy Armor. Yes, it's got a
Yes.
website. Search Energy Armor. You can get T-shirts for kids, hats, beanies, belly wraps for pregnant women, even for babies. We have hats for babies, and that will block the majority of EMFs. And I know they work really well. Well, first of all, they work. We know because you can use an EMF meter and you can see it just eliminating that cell
Huh.
phone when it's directly behind the fabric. So the fabric
Mhm.
itself has silver, and it blocks the EMFs. So that's the one is block it. Number two is to create a environment like where we're talking about that has what we call Faraday currents. So the energetic field of the environment itself kind of harmonizes the environment, so that it's no longer bad for you. It's now healthy for you.
And why Faraday?
Faraday currents. Faraday, he one of the first people who kind of like experimented with electromagnetic fields. There's such a thing called a Faraday cage, and it's basically a mesh of wires to block EMFs. But
Hmm.
that's physical, right? Faraday
Okay.
currents are using electromagnetic fields, which are not physical, just energy, in order to do the same thing, to block the EMFs.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So
Using
we're
energy against energy, basically.
got
Yeah.
it. Got it. Got it. Oh, I love meeting you and learning this because I'm all in. So let's go into, we're at the end, but let's kind of sum it up and what they can do and find you and the options with the different systems and starting little or going all the way to the wall unit.
Yeah. You can find me on usetheqi.com. That's my link wall. Use the Qi. There's that sticker. Use the QI, usetheqi.com.
Okay.
And oh, here it is. So that's the website. Oops. Usetheqi.com. So
Okay. That's
there's
still
my link
upside.
wall.
It's like backwards, but that's
It's
okay. I
backwards.
get it.
Okay, I have it. Okay. So the you can download free frequencies on there. You can get my book, which is only $1. You can download the audiobook or the and the ebook is only $1. So you can start reading about my healing story. You can learn about how this technology works and the science of life force. You can start there. Then you can kind of, deep dive into how all this stuff works. Then if you want to get a coil, you can start for $399 for like a starter kit, which is like,
Hmm.
a small one, and it has some frequencies that you can start using, and they're still very powerful even though it's small. Then it goes up to, a few like 3,500 for the Qi Coil 3, which is like our standard model. And then you just watch the video there. It'll explain the differences between the sizes and the different options. And then you go larger with the Qi Coil Aura, which covers 3,000 square feet, and that goes up for 9,000. And it comes with the tablets, right? It comes with a tablet with over 10,000 programs in there. So yeah,
How
so
many, is that something, do people have that in their house a lot? Do you,
yeah, yeah. Actually, we have more right now. We have more like businesses using them than
oh,
homes,
okay.
especially like healing centers, wellness centers, chiropractors. They're using these in their centers more. But now we're kind of we're creating a website for more geared towards the homes,
Hmm.
because now we so many realtors now are kind of being attracted to this stuff,
Oh,
because maybe because, well, it just makes sense, right? Because they're into the energy, and they're into arts and stuff for their home. So we're building a new website that kind of features it more for the home.
hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Fascinating.
but it's
Where
the
do you,
same system. It's just going to be a different website and with some images of it in the living room.
oh, okay.
It's the same system that yeah.
Right. Where do you see like what's your like like when you go in 10 years when you're my age, where do you see the world? Where do you see yourself? Like what do you like? I know he said that the setting goals don't work, right? So you're not setting goals.
Um, I set goals, but then I don't really count on that. Like, I don't focus too much on it. I just focus on my general um like direction and where I need to go. Right. I know which direction I need to go. Uh, Goals are good, but sometimes people focus on goals a little too much, and then they get disappointed when they miss them. So they constantly keep disappointing themselves, right?
Hmm.
Because they constantly miss their goals. So what I do instead is I always just heading a direction, and then every day I'm succeeding because every day I'm taking a step towards my direction.
Right.
But
So what
but
would
to,
you say your
10
direction is
years
then?
10 years is a long way to think, but I would say by that time, this would be pretty common. Just the same way chiropractors were kind of called witchcraft back in the day.
Right.
Right now, everybody, you know, accepts the fact that they are, legit. I think the same thing is going to happen with energy and frequency technology, or energy healing technology in general, or frequency healing technology in general. It's going to be becoming more commonplace
Hmm.
and accepted, and hopefully by that time, in the public, they're going to use it, right? They'll use it in the schools, or they use it in prisons, or they use it in hospitals, because they know that it's going to elevate that energy throughout the entire establishment.
Yeah. Oh gosh, you just hit me. I know you do qigong. So 20 years ago, I had a day spa, and this before I got married and all that. And we did qigong on Sundays. And this woman came to me. We did breath work. I mean, all the things that I used to do in that spa 20 years ago, I'm now talking about it. I'm doing it. And it's like, I didn't think, then it was not even known, but we had full classes every Sunday. We would do qigong. Isn't that funny?
That's great. Yeah, you're ahead of everybody.
Yeah. And now I'm talking about it to you, that you incorporate Qigong with the frequencies and all that. That's another whole thing, but that's amazing.
Yeah, it is. That's why it's called Qi Coils.
Oh, funny. Uh, well, David, I've loved every minute, and I've really enjoyed the work I did learning more, like before I met you, because it's really opened up a door for me to realize just the value in what you've done, and know the world is gonna, oh, I mean, just open up to this. I mean, I'm hoping, I know they will eventually, but right now, just to open the world to this mind and understanding the power in these frequencies and those coils. Oh, it's so fun. It's something like, so if you were going to say to somebody, oh, the realtor, for example, she wants to get a client to, she wants to list a house. Lay there on the couch for 30 minutes, listen to that abundance, and it's all different. It's a weather, right? That's just the person. It's not going to say in 30 days and night, like you were healed in 90 days.
Yeah, people ask how long does it take to work, and then I say it really depends on the person, right? Some people it
Right.
works instantly, some people it takes a couple months, right? But we but you're basically changing your frequency. So like how long does it take to change your frequency? And after you change your frequency, how long does it take for that to affect your environment? And it's just different for everybody.
Right.
By
My
what?
freak,
Mhm.
you what?
Go ahead.
I live in a high frequency. That's a super important thing. That's my intention every day, is to start that at the high vibration. And, I tell the girls every day they don't know different. We don't wake up in a bad mood. We don't wake up. There's never that. It's always this high. They know how important that is.
Hmm.
And so when I listen to you, and to listen to the magic of this whole technology, the people this is what I'm taking, and I'm going to ask you this. If you live at a high vibration, like that's like me, like I just explained, do you feel like that person's it's going to really like catapult the whatever she's working toward, like even faster, like quicker?
I think so, yeah. It will amplify whatever you are.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a magnifier.
Yeah.
It takes, yeah. Okay.
Amplify. Yeah.
All right, I could talk to you all day. But anyway, so we'll find you on your website. I'll put everything in the show notes. Go to Life of Chi,
Use the
Amazon.
chi. Use the chi.com.
Use the chi.com, even though
Chi
that's
spelled
backwards.
QI.
The what?
Chi is spelled QI. Use,
QI,
use
yes.
the chi.
Use the
Q.
QI.com. Got it.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you. So wonderful to meet you. And thank you for all you're doing in this world.
We'll keep in touch. Definitely.
Yes. Thank you.